It's Monday morning, and I've done a lot of research over the weekend on the whole issue with the walker. We're going to narrow it down to this. You know what? I'll explain in a minute. It smells really good inside my truck right now. It's actually making me hungry. And it ain't an air freshener. I guess it kind of is. I had to go to Walmart last night, and I will get into why I went there when I explain what I'm doing today, what I'm trying out. But the wife wanted me to get lunch meat for the kids' sandwiches for school. So I saw this block of lunch meat there that they slice up at the deli, and it was oven roasted Cajun turkey. What? So I had them slice me up a bunch of that. So I made 2 sandos this morning with, I have a big block of cheddar. There's always cheddar in my house. So I sliced the cheddar up and I put it on the sandwiches, and I made 2 sandwiches, and they're sitting on that seat. And that's gonna be my lunch today. And then snickerdoodle cookies. Why? I mean, is that really a question? They're snickerdoodle. But, so, anyway, it smells really good in here. But it is Monday morning. I'm getting a late start. It is 8:40. It is 8:40. Which I don't care. It's cold out. It's like 48 degrees right now. It looks like it's going to pour rain. I don't believe it's supposed to. They said a chance of spotty showers today, but it is just, the high today is 54 degrees. So it's not very warm at all. And I may not have to cut every one of my lawns today. I really only have like 2 to 3 weeks of mowing left, and then like 3 weeks, maybe a month of leaves, depending on if it holds out and doesn't snow. And then we go into winter, and when it snows, I go out and plow snow. And other than that, I really don't do a heck of a lot more in the winter. I'm smart enough that I put away enough money that I don't have to do crap all winter, which is exactly how I like it. After a long season of being solo, you know, when you're a solo guy, after a long season, you know, you're beat. You're ready to take a little bit of time off. But I say that every year, but that only lasts about a month, and then I'm like, okay, I want to go back to work. So it just depends on how much snow we get. They're calling for a nasty, heavy, snowy winter, which is always the norm in my area. It's always bad. But we haven't seen a heavy, snowy winter in 3 years, and they've been calling for it every year. So who the heck knows if we'll actually get it. But anyway, I do the same thing every morning. I go and I fill up all my gas cans because they're all empty by the end of Friday, which they are right now. And I get a new water jug for the week. I buy a 1 gallon thing of water, and I fill, you guys know, I think, I fill it up at in my house every morning, but I only use it for a week because I put the Mio in there, and after doing that for a week, man, I just went to the wrong side. After doing that for a week, it starts to get little black spots in the bottom, like it's mold or something, even though I rinse it out every day. I don't get it. I don't know why that is, but it just is. So I don't even try to wash it out. I throw it in the garbage, and I get a new one every Monday, and that's that. But anyway, so let's do that. Let's fill up these mowers and fill up the cans. Okay, so I forgot my water jug. I can't believe it. I never forget my water jug. When I was in the service, I passed out one time from being dehydrated. Wasn't paying attention, I passed out. Ever since then, I have never, ever been without a drink. I take a drink with me everywhere I go. It doesn't matter if it's, I do have a cup of coffee though, a full cup I haven't even touched yet. But I never go anywhere without a drink because I don't know if it's ever happened to you guys, but it happened to me. And when I woke up, I was in sick bay with an IV in each arm, and they were pushing straight saline into me. It literally felt like somebody was shoving ice cubes into my veins. It was an unpleasant feeling and extremely cold. And my head was all messed up. Like, I couldn't think straight, I couldn't see straight. Not a good thing at all. So I make sure to never be without a drink. So I can't believe I forgot it, but I had to run into the hardware store and get my K100. Even though I run non-ethanol, I still once a month run K100 through my mowers. And the 36 Vantage was, I only use that mower on Mondays, but it was starting to run toward the end of the day. It was running a little bit rough last Monday, and I just never had time all week to mess with it because I've been screwing around with this walker, and I don't really know what's wrong with it. So I mean, I put up to full throttle and it runs great, but at low idle it's running a little rough. It might be like I said, it doesn't get used. It gets used one day a week for a couple of lawns that I can't get anything else in their back gates. But so I just filled it up with fresh non-ethanol fuel. I'm gonna pour a little K100 in there and run it today. Excuse me. We'll see what happens. But anyway, so I went to Walmart last night and I got these two big, like, heavy-duty black bins, like tote type bins. I don't know if you guys remember back to when I had showed you the bins I bought that slide in the hopper of the walker. I got a bunch of lawns where I have to take it away. I mean, it's just the way it is. I have a bunch of lawns where I can dump on site, and especially this time of year now with all the leaves, I can dump out at the road for most properties, but some I still have to haul away. So if you remember the video that I had made a while back where I showed you the bins that go in the hopper of the walker, I showed you me emptying them out, how I use them. They're extremely expensive. It takes two of those bins and it's $160, $164 a bin. So, I mean, you're over 300 bucks on two bins. When you're running the walker with those bins, you always have to dump sooner than if they're not in there. Like, you can fit more in there without the bins in there. The other problem with it is when they're in there, like, okay, I'm mowing and I have the bins in the hopper. When the alarm goes off and it's full, I open the back door and a whole bunch of grass falls out. When I don't have the bins in there and I open the back door, I get a couple little pieces that fall out, not much at all. It's like it packs in there better, it packs in harder, so nothing falls out. And it when I slide the bins out, there's a lot of grass that goes down in, because obviously those bins aren't snug in there. You'll never get them out if they were, but so a lot of grass falls out. So I pull one bin out, I dump it. I pull the other bin out, I dump it. Then I take one of the bins and I lean it up against the back caster wheel just under the hopper, and then I got to get in there and shovel it all out with my hands, pull it out, and I fill the other bin almost halfway with everything that's laying in there. And then there's always that pile on the ground from when I first opened the door, so I got to scoop that up, put that in, and dump that in. So anyway, in that video I made where I showed all that, I told you guys that I originally thought of using recycling bins, like bigger recycling bins, and setting them behind it and then just tipping it up, dumping them in there, and then pick them up and dump them into the truck. Well, because of having to deal with the mess and just the pain it seems to be with these bins, for somebody that doesn't have a whole ton of, busyness, I don't know. For somebody that's not swamped throughout the day, I mean, these bins would be great for. But for me, I just don't have the time to keep fumbling around, and I have a bunch of bigger properties. I need my walker to go further in between dumps, and that's exactly what it does when I don't have the bins in there. So for somebody that has a bunch of just average sized properties, these bins would be great for you, and for somebody that doesn't have so many properties in a day where they're fighting for time, these bins would be great for you. But I just need a better solution. So I bought these 2 bins. I paid like 18 bucks a piece for them. And I'm going to try them out today. We're going to see what happens. I'm going to just run the walker without the bins in there. I have the bins with me. I don't know if you can see them back there, but the bins are in there just in case. The regular walker bins and the new ones I bought. So I'm going to run the walker today without the bins in there, and then when I got to dump, I'm going to set these 2 bins side by side, and I'm going to dump into them, and then I'm going to up into the truck, and we're going to see. I already know it. The walker's going to hold more grass because I just know that that's what it does without the bins in there. So I'm already winning in that aspect. Now, if I can dump it into these bins and it doesn't make a huge mess all over the ground, and the bins aren't overly heavy for me to lift up into the truck by myself, then I win all the way around and I'm good to go. That's what I'm hoping for, and I'm pretty sure that's how it'll go. Okay, off of that, since I'm rambling on this morning. You guys, I've been showing you in the last couple videos, I was having an issue with the way that the walker vacs leaves up. I think I'm just being anal. I'm just being picky because I know that my Tiger Cat with the vac system on the side will suck a yard clean in one pass, wet or dry, at any height. My walker is vacuuming leaves very good. I have the 10.5 inch upgraded blower. I took the big screen out, put the little screen in there. It has a brand new frame all the way around the hopper, brand new seal all the way around the hopper, so I get 0 blowout. That's actually one of the things I love about bagging with the walker over the Tiger Cat. I can bag wet leaves, dry leaves, dirt, anything. I am clean when I get off that mower. But the Tiger Cat, you're dusty when you get off that bad boy. And that has a lot to do with you get more blowout on the front of the deck of the Tiger Cat. You don't get any of that with the walker. But anyway, it vacs leaves very, very well. It just leaves little pieces behind where I can see where it just didn't pick up everything. And a lot of people are telling me, well, you know, sometimes you gotta mow over it and then drop the deck down on the walker and then mow over it again. Which, okay, that's fine. If that's how it has to work, then it is what it is. But I thought that walker, with how they rave about walkers, would do it as good, if not better, than my Tiger Cat. So I guess maybe that's just what I was hoping for, and I was holding the walker to a higher standard. Maybe it's just not capable of doing that, and it's no big deal. So anyway, I've posted on Walker Mower Forum, and a lot of great guys were giving me a lot of advice and a lot of tips, a lot of things to try out. It was all things that I had already done by that point. A lot of people just go right on them forums and ask without trying or checking, testing, anything. I exhaust every avenue I possibly can first before I go on there asking for advice on it. I check out everything I can first to rule it all out. So anyway, the only thing that I haven't tried, oh yeah, I had somebody mention a video. You got a rubber flap when you lift the door up, right there where you look at the top of the screen. There's a rubber flap in there. That shouldn't be there. That's not stock. I said, well, I just assumed it was. I bought it like that. It's got nice cutouts. It's perfectly cut. I assumed it was stock. It came like that. He said, no. Well, I asked a bunch of guys, and there's a whole ton of guys in the Walker Mower Forum that all have that flap. They said that's how it is. You know, that's the way it is. So apparently it is supposed to be there, and it keeps all the dust and stuff from blowing out at you. A lot of guys said they wrap a bungee over the plastic flap that flips over the top to hold it down, so they don't get covered in dust and all that stuff. Mine doesn't pop up, so I guess I'm in good shape there. But anyway, wow, there's a bunch of branches down this yard I'll have to move. Anyway, so yeah. The only other thing they suggested that I didn't know what it meant at first, and I wasn't really sure how to do it, is they asked me if I have my deck raked. Apparently that means having the back lower than the front, and they said that it'll suck leaves up better. That's one thing I have not tried. Everything else has been done. I've tried it. That's the one thing I have not tried. I checked all my belts, the tension. I checked the spring. When you lift the arm up to engage your blades, you got to check the length of that spring there. And I went in my manual and checked the lengths to make sure that spring is where it should be. and it's compressed the way it should be. It's putting enough tension on the PTO belt, and it is. That everything's good there. The belts are all brand new. The pulleys are all in great shape. Some of them are new. The other ones are in good shape. So I've pretty much done everything. But I also found a whole ton of videos on the Walker, or on Walker's bagging leaves. Not a whole ton, but a bunch. And even videos by Walker Mowers International, and they all left the same looking leaves behind that mine does. So I'm guessing it's just a thing with them. But my thing with Walker, I mean, it's great for its bagging capabilities, but I love the way the Walker cuts. And they're right. I mean, my Skag, phenomenal cut. My Great Dane, great cut. My, you know, I've mowed with every mower there is practically. They all leave fantastic cuts, but nothing will leave that even cut like a Walker will. I will give them that, hands down. So my goal this winter is I want a B19 with a 52-inch side discharge. I was thinking about rear, not so sure that'll work for my properties. I get a lot of them that grow 5 to 7 inches in the spring for like 2 to 3 months of springtime, and that's yards that aren't fertilized, and I'm just not so sure that the rear discharge will do it. It's not going to fan it out like a side will, so pretty sure I'm going to go with the side, but that's my plan for the winter. So anyway, let's get to mowing. I thought I filmed this backyard before. I know I filmed the front yard with the Walker, with the Great Dane. I usually mow this backyard with the 36 because that gate is a tight fit. And I actually forgot that I can fit a 48-inch in there just barely, and you have to go really slow. I used to bring the Freedom Z in the back, and that was a 48. And I usually don't even have the Walker on Mondays. I don't know why. I usually bring the 36 and then either the Tiger Cat or the Great Dane. But I've just really been loving using this Walker lately. I'll give it to them. And at first, you know, everybody said, nothing cuts like a Walker. Hands down, it's the best cutting deck. You know, it'll leave the best cut. And I argued back and forth and said, yeah, whatever. But I really, really believe that it does leave the best cut. And I think it's mainly just because it follows the contour of the ground. Whereas, you know, I get a great cut with all the other mowers I use, but it looks different. It just really does. And I guess you really have to use it to understand it. But I decided that I'm just going to start running the Walker more than I normally have, just because I love riding it. It's a lot of fun to use. I love the way things look after I'm done cutting with it. And it's not even just the bagging feature, because I'm dead set on that non-bagging Walker for this winter, as long as I can get a good price or a good deal on it. One thing I do have to figure out is when do they go on sale. Like every other brand, like Skag has Skag Days, Ferris has what they call their Ferris blowout sales, their end of the year sales, things like that. And it's usually during the winter time for any of them. So I'm hoping that maybe Walker does the same thing, and I just have to figure out what time of the year that is. If I call my dealer and say, when do they give the best prices? He's going to say, oh, right now, you know. So I need to find out from somebody that buys them or really knows a lot about Walkers and has purchased a bunch of them new, to know when that is. And it could be different for each area, but, you know, either way, it's definitely on the plan, on the agenda for this year. And I can't wait to use that next year. I carry this little kit around. It always stays down there. I have mounts over here for the cameras. I got mounts in the trailer. But I have all kinds of spare parts in here. That's my other GoPro. And it's a good thing because this one here just snapped. It's garbage. So we'll use this one, I think. I have another spare one right here. But I'll use this one. It's kind of got the arc thing, and I'll just use the Titan knob out of the other one. But it was really cold, and I didn't realize it. And I told you it's cold out here. And so I put it I went to squeeze it into the mount and it just snapped it right off. So time to switch it up. I usually do a leaf cleanup every year at this house. It's nothing too crazy, but there's multiple gates I can blow the leaves out of. And then right down there where I'm throwing all these sticks, that's where the driveway comes down in. It kind of goes downhill, and it's a very short driveway. So it's just easier for me to just throw all the sticks down there, and then when I can come right up the driveway, grab them and take them right up and leave them at the road. It's nice and quick, nice and easy. But so I'm just, the only thing I can even fit back here is just 36. So I just do a little for like last 2 weeks, I think, and then this week here, and maybe one more week or 2 weeks after this. I just kind of round robin it and mulch them up the best I can, and then I get into cleaning up the leaves after that, blowing them all out.
Okay, well, here's how the two bins work out. I definitely prefer them over the bins in the back of the hopper. They are a lot lighter. I did have to dump twice into them because I got a lot more grass in there than I had expected, which is exactly what I wanted. So they're very light, easy to dump in, and I would still rather do it this way. So it actually has worked out. That's only half of it. There's still a lot more left in there, which you're about to see. So either way, I would still go this route over using the other bins, and it wasn't even a big deal to clean up the little bit that fell on the ground either.
Okay, so I was in the middle of mowing a lawn and I shut the PTO off to dump the hopper. Went to turn the PTO back on and heard this loud squealing. I shut it off. This fan was stuck. Wouldn't move. Was not moving at all. It took me beating on it. See the little creases in it right there? I had a pair of channel locks on there and I was beating on the end of them with a hammer to break this thing free. And come to find out, I've been mowing a lot of areas where there's leaves and black walnuts all over the ground. Well, that black walnut stuff turns into like paste, and I never thought about it, and it has in there built up, and I've had to scrape it out of there, and I never thought of it being in here. Well, that's what happened in here. So I had to clean all that out, or I had to break the fan free, and so now I got a spray in there. You can see it caked up, and get that cleaned out. But anyway, what I noticed was this belt right here has a bunch of cracks in it, and that's for the drive belt, which I never really paid attention to before. I thought I had changed that when I put the brand new wide PTO belt on, and I didn't. And then this belt here has a ton of cracks in it too. I don't know if you can see that. Look at it. It's nastied up. Well, I bought all brand new belts and I thought I changed those, and I guess I didn't because they're right here. So I'm gonna get them changed out. But another thing I noticed, and I don't know if you guys can see this, when I upgraded the blower housing unit and I put it in here, see how it has these little bolts? I think they're like 1/4 inch bolts or 7/16 bolts that hold this shroud on that your tube goes into. Look all the way down there. You see that gap? That's like a 1/4 inch gap. So I stuck my hand up under the bottom part, and I don't know if I can feel it right now, but anyway, there's I have sticks crammed in there and all kinds of stuff. But there is these. There's a 3 of these. One here, one up there, and there's one on the bottom. Well, there's no bolt in there. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it fell out or what happened, but it's not in there. So it's leaving that gap all the way around. And that very well may be my issue with the way it's vacuuming leaves. Because think about it, that essentially is no different than sucking out of a straw that has a crack in it. Okay, I don't know if you can see down there now, but see it, slight air gap, slight. I tried putting a business card in there. I couldn't even fit the business card in there. I think that is actually supposed to be up in there better. Maybe the blower just isn't perfectly lined up, but that was like, I don't know how well you guys could see it before. That was over a 1/4 inch gap, and it went almost the whole length. Now it's like 2 inches, and you can't even fit a business card in there. So I'm not overly concerned with that. But so I did get a bolt in there. It was the right size, but it was too long. I could look through here and see the bolt. So I tried turning the fan by hand, and it hit it. So I had to back it back out, and I had to go take a cut-off wheel and cut the bolt down shorter, and then put it back in there, and now it's perfect. But the belt, I replaced that belt, and here it is. Look at this. See right where the grooves are? They're all coming apart. It's all separated. Look, I can fold it right in half, and it's just falling apart. That's the belt, and it's like that all the way around. The entire belt is. So I just replaced that belt, and it takes care of that. So Walker is ready to go for another day, I guess. I still got to change that belt. It's not in the best shape, but it's not that bad. I have the brand new one right there. I'm not changing it right now. It is a pain. They say these are all super easy, do them in the field. They ain't that simple. Some of them are, not all of them. But anyway, I'll get to that one. I'll keep the spare in the trailer just in case it does break on me. I'll have it. But that's it for this one.